So along the way, there's been some organizations that have really helped you out, and you were kind enough to share a story with me about going in search for a truck. Because when you pulled up here in our neighborhood, I heard you must have been about 3 or 4 blocks away because you rode your Harley in.
Yeah.
So I did hear you coming. But you wanted to get a vehicle because of the work that you're doing and getting these dogs. You can't very well put them on the back of the Harley and take them around.
No.
And so I want you to share with our community the story about you going out and searching for a used vehicle that would suit your purpose.
Yeah.
And cost very little money because you didn't have a lot at the time to put into this.
Actually, this time last year, I went to Ford and with the bike being a Harley, I know Ford had a deal with Harley, so I figured, you know what, I'm going to need I was planning a motorcycle trip around the country, so I needed a chase vehicle if the bike broke down, and working with the dogs, I need something. So I went to Ford, figuring they would pair with me. It's Harley, Ford, but they didn't return my call, so I went to Chevy. And then Chevy didn't return my call, so I went to my local Toyota dealership because I have a Toyota truck. And that guy took the paperwork, and 2 or 3 days later, I got a call from Toyota headquarters, and they told me they had a truck for me. So when I went down there, it was a brand new 2017 Special Edition Tundra.
Huh.
And I was just blown away. I thought I was going to get something out of the back lot. That's all I had expected, if anything. So they not only did that, they asked me if I wanted to put graphics on the truck, and again, it's something I didn't think of or think about. So I gave the guy my card. It's red, white, and blue with a soldier and a dog on it. I said, "Can you do anything with this?" And they duplicated my business card on the side of the truck.
Huh.
It's pretty awesome. And they didn't stop there. When I picked up the truck, they handed me an envelope with $1,000 in gas cards for my trip, which was pretty awesome. And then, I did, when I told them I was going cross country, they figured 3,000 there, 6,000 miles. Well, I did 26,000 miles. So when I ran out of gas,
You didn't literally run out of gas.
I ran out of gas cards. I ran out of gas cards.
Okay.
So now I had to put, every time I filled it, it was like $75.
Right.
So now I'm eating into the money I'm raising. So the next dealership I went to, when the guy asked me if there's anything they could get me, I said a bottle of water and can you top off the gas tank? And they did. So they continued to do it for the rest of the trip. So for 26,000 miles, basically, they put gas in the truck for me.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it warms your heart to know that there are organizations out there that aren't strictly focused 100% on the bottom line.
Yeah.
That their kindness to donate the truck and donate the gas and allow you to start one soldier, one dog, one team is really important. But of course, all this, it costs money, and it costs money to keep it going. Tell me about some of your fundraising efforts and people that are watching, if they want to make a donation to your foundation, which you said it's a 501c3, so that means it's tax deductible. So it's not only going to a good cause, but it's tax deductible for everybody at home watching this.
Yeah.
Where can we go? How do we find you? How do we find out about your mission?
It's one soldier, one dog, one team. P.O. Box 653, Manalapan, New Jersey, 07726. You can throw a check in the mail there, or we have a GoFundMe page that you can find One Soldier, One Dog, One Team, but they take a cut of that money.
Yeah.
So I don't tell people not to donate to the GoFundMe, but if you just send the check to the P.O. Box, we get to keep all of it.
Made out to one soldier,
one dog,
dog,
one team. We have nobody gets a salary. It's all the help that I get, except for the actual people that train the actual dogs. Everybody's volunteer. So, my goal when I was working, and I still do work with the Tunnel to Towers, 93 cents out of every dollar is going towards the function, towards the houses being built for these guys coming back with no arms and no legs. And that's what I'm striving to get my organization to that point. So every dime that we take in goes to put gas in the truck or buying a dog or, a big part of it is just raising awareness. When I get out there with this truck and travel the country, I don't sell that picture. The famous photographer that took that picture, Alan Tannenbaum, gave me permission to use that picture to raise money for my soldiers and dogs. So when I get contacted to do a motorcycle run, like I was just in Boston this past weekend, they were expecting 6,000 to 7,000 motorcycles, and they only got about just under 4,000 because of the weather. But still, just sitting at a table for that function, I raised $1,000 selling my big, people throwing, how much is it? It's a donation, whatever you throw in. Some people throw $1, some people throw 20. I had a couple of people throw $100 bills in. So that's the only way I'm raising money right now. So, I'm kind of low on my money. I had a soldier contact me that wants a dog, and I told him I'd help him. I don't know if I can, but I didn't want to tell him that then. I'll try and scramble now to make sure that I can get the funds to help him.
Yeah, and where's this soldier located?
He's in Boston.
He's in Boston.
Yeah.
So you met him through the run that you were just on.
And that was a big part of setting this up. I've had some smart people advise me what to do with the truck, and having that on there and driving the truck around. People will come up to me in a parking lot. What's that all about? And I tell them, oh, my kid. I've actually got soldiers this way where somebody, oh, can you help my son or my nephew or my grandson and he could really use the help. That's how it happens.
Yeah. Now, Tim, what if somebody calls you up and says, hey, look, I got this dog, and for one reason or another, maybe my job is picked up and I'm traveling and I feel guilty leaving the dog home alone, or geez, my dog ran out and seemed to have had a date and came home and had a litter of puppies recently, and they don't know what to do with the dogs. Is that something that you would be, do you entertain, trying to understand what those dogs are and taking those dogs and trying to place them, or is that...
No, we don't. We try not to place puppies because it's too stressful for somebody with PTSD to have to worry about housebreaking and to teach them
Good point. Yeah.
the basics.
Yeah, but an older dog you might consider.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
So we generally look for dogs that are a year or older.
A year or older.
Once they're out of that real puppy stage, they're much more trainable.
And the potty, the housebreaking,
calmer,
potty training,
right.
The chewing of the
Correct.
Right. Yeah.
That's stressful for some people, and
Yeah.
if somebody's already got PTSD, you don't want them to have to deal with that.
That's right. Yeah.
So, unlike the one girl in Staten Island that I'm working with now, she trained her own service dog, so she told me if I could get her a pup, she would take it. And because she has already trained her own service dog, I would do that for her. Whereas just a regular soldier that I was called to help, I wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
Unless he told me, no, I've had them before and I've certified my last dog myself. Oh, okay, then I can get you, a pup.
Yeah. Okay, Tim, I think we've said it all.
Wow.
Incredible story. Dogs and fires
Yeah.
and trucks and Harleys and
All good stuff.
All good stuff, right?
Yeah.
And you look well. Before I let you go, how is your health? How you mentioned a few lung problems.
Yeah.
And,
My health isn't that good, but it's not. I'm not terminal with anything.
mm-hmm.
I have esophagus problems. I have intestine problems. I have stomach problems. I have 2 different kinds of arthritis and autoimmune. So everything that can go wrong is going wrong,
Mm-hmm.
and they're just now starting to recognize that, the fire department,
Mm-hmm.
where this autoimmune. Whereas if you have one thing, then they're assuming that you're going to get this down the line because they're all related, and that's kind of what happened to me. The first it was just asthma, and now it's rheumatoid arthritis, psoriasis, psoriatic arthritis, diverticulitis. I mean, it's just everything's, just like falling apart. I don't sleep. I wake up almost every single night. My legs cramp, my feet cramp. No matter what I do, as far as pounding water all day long, people say, "Oh, you're dehydrated." I'm not dehydrated. Trust me, I'm not dehydrated. But the physical stuff, it sucks. But I'm still here. It beats the alternative, as they say in my business.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the mental issues. There's a great group of guys that I meet with on Thursdays in the counseling unit in Staten Island. and it really helps, myself and, there's almost 24 guys, and the wisdom that's in that room, and to be there with, guys in the same situation, and older guys,
Yeah.
it really helps more than, I really stopped going to the counseling professionals with the fire department, because what was happening was they would bring in these young people that want to help, all good intention, I'm sure, at first, and you work with this person for a year, you tell them your story, and you're laying out your soul, and then you come in one day and they're gone, because now they worked for the New York City Fire Department for a year. That goes on their resume. Now they go out and they get a job,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it just happened to me so many times. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not going anymore. That's
Yeah.
So I go to this group, and
Yeah.
it's tremendous.
Yeah.
So working with the dogs and helping, just helping, it feels good, and that's my medicine. When I was a kid, I was brought up that way. Coaching the kids, reffing the kids, and doing what I was doing with the dogs in the nursing homes, and just, I don't know, it just seems to be, in my genes. I just, it's all I know.
Now, I noticed on the back of your Harley, on the fender, you have something inscribed there. Share with us what that is.
It's in memory of my 343 brothers from 9/11. I had that put on. We went out, a bunch of us, dozen and a half of us went out in '03 to the 100th anniversary in Milwaukee for Harley Davidson, and I had it put on there. Like with my tattoo, I didn't get my 9/11 tattoo for years after 9/11. I don't always like to run with the crowd and do what the crowd does. I've only got 4 tattoos, but I designed every single one because each one's a memorial. I lost a brother-in-law who was a New York City police officer, and I have him here. I have my dad here. I have my 9/11 brothers here, and I have Norton on my leg here. So my wife not long ago asked me, "When are you going to get a tattoo of me?" I said, "Well, save my life 3 times or die, and then you you get on the canvas."
the bar is
high.
The bar is high.
Yeah.
So, and one last thing, it was fascinating to hear that you were a bar Irish pub owner.
Yes.
And tell us very quickly about the story and about naming the pub, because I thought that was pretty cute.
Well, but my partner and I...
And you have to use the Irish brogue when
I will. But my partner and I, he was Billy Hansen from 113 Truck, and I opened up this pub on Staten Island across the street from Danino's, the best pizza on Staten Island. And it was this little Irish pub, and Billy let me name it. And ever since I was a kid, spending the summers in Ireland at my cousin Mickey's, and I loved this guy just for who he was, and I always thought if I ever had an Irish pub, I was going to name it after my cousin Mickey. He's on... my Uncle Patty had the bigger farm than Mickey's side of the family, so when Mickey's family all died, he moved into my side of the family's farm, and he runs it to this day. But he was built like you, a little bit bigger. Handsome and robust. So
okay. I know where this is going.
So his name was Mickey Donahoe, but because Mickey Donahoe was on Thaddeus Reynolds' land, he was referred to as Mickey Tatey. Mickey Tatey, and Tatey is short for Thaddeus. The Irish don't pronounce the TH sound. I'm Timothy, but my grandmother would call me Timothy, and Thaddeus was Tatey. So Mickey's name was, Mickey Tatey when he was around. But when he wasn't around, like when I would take the milk to the creamery, all the fellas would be like, "Oh, that's Fatso Tatey's nephew," And I didn't catch on at first, and I asked one of the guys, "What did you call my cousin?" And, "Oh, but Jesus, it's Fatso Tatey." And so I told Mickey, I was probably about 18 or 23. I forget how old I was, what summer, but I said, "If I ever get a pub, Mickey, I'm going to name it after you." "Ah, be Jesus, Timothy, that's grand," he says. "Ah, be Jesus." So now I get this pub, and I called up Mickey to tell him I was naming it after him. "Ah, be Jesus, Timothy, that's grand," he says. "What are you going to be calling it?" I said, "Mick, I'm calling it Fatso Tatey's." And the line went silent. He says, "Timothy," he says, "that's not good, Timothy. That's not good." I said, "You're young, Mickey. You'll adjust."
Tim, thanks for coming in. Keep up the good work.
Pleasure. Thanks. You, Dave.